Welcome everybody to How Fast Will It Go, and today we're dealing with the 2015 Ferrari F12tdf. Now this has 1,495 horsepower, 964 pounds-feet of torque from its 6.3 litre twin turbocharged V12 engine, and the vehicle itself now weighs 2,965 pounds. Now features all-wheel drive, and it can do 0 to 60 in 1.596 seconds and go on to 103.235 seconds. So yeah, Ferrari have had pretty much decent success on this series so far, with the 599XX getting into the top 10, and then several of their other cars lingering around in the top 25. So yeah, I'm really confident that this will do really well, because it's got a huge amount of power. It weighs less than 3,000 pounds despite being as big of a car as it is, and yeah, that all-wheel drive system will obviously help keep the power in check. And yeah, this was meant to deal with a fair bit of old power. Originally it was more than 700 horsepower. So yeah, nonetheless, let's see what it can do. So yeah, hugely quick off the line. Glorious sounding V12 as well, which hasn't been nullified whatsoever by the turbochargers, and there's 240 already. A bit of a handling misstep there. There's 250, 260, 270, 272. Well, that certainly nearly comes close to the 599XX, which is surprising considering that car was even better in terms of handling than this, but obviously that also had a rear wing to deal with, where this does not. So yeah, 272 is still a really good speed, but let's get onto the other side of the motorway and see what we can do, because yeah, this car is pretty much relentless. It's easily one of the fastest accelerating cars we've had. I'm not just in terms of 0 to 60 or 0 to 100, but even when you're going well above 200 mile an hour, it's just never ending in terms of what it can do, quite frankly. Which is not the case for many other cars. They seem to slow down at times. Whereas this, as you can see, is just ticking over so quickly. Even above 260 mile an hour, it's still going up as it would at 200. And we even matched our original speed at the other side of the motorway, which is not a common thing, though it has been lately. But in terms of cars generally on this series, matching the speed on the other side of the motorway to this side of the motorway is not common, because this side of the motorway is more uphill, and it's usually a lot more crowded in terms of traffic as well. So yeah, mighty impressive that this has managed 272 mile an hour, but also because it's managed it on both sides of the motorway. So yeah, very consistent, which is no surprise considering how relentless it is in terms of acceleration. But yeah, 272 is all we're going to get today, which is not bad, not by any means, but it is slightly off the 599XX, so that is still the fastest Ferrari we've had on this series so far. But it does at least match the Koenigseggs, the CC8S and the Agera. It also matches the 812 Superfast, so it's joint second place in terms of Ferraris, as well as the Ford Custom Double Down and the Lamborghini Aventador. It beats the Koenigsegg CC8S and the Shelby Monaco King Cobra, but is a massive 13 miles an hour off the Jaguar D-Type and 9 miles an hour off the McLaren F1. But yeah, still really rather good, and it's easily again one of the best accelerating cars that we've had on this series. Plenty of other cars have gone faster, but they've seemed to have slowed down a little bit at the top end, whereas this just gets up to 270 mile an hour, and then after that, that's where it starts to struggle. But up to that point, it's just relentless, and you'd think it'd have more torque than it does for a car that's as relentless as it is in terms of its acceleration, and yet it's one of the least torquey engines that we've had on this series so far. But nearly 1500 horsepower is hard to argue with, even in any conditions. So yeah, really pleased with how well this is done. It's certainly one of my favourite modern Ferraris. Certainly prefer it over the standard F12, so yeah, I'm glad it's done as well as it has. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.